Falling in love should feel like a dream, but for me, it became a battle I never saw coming. My name is Emily, and I've spent most of my life on a small farm tucked away in the countryside. My days were filled with hard work, long hours, and the constant fear that one bad season would destroy everything my family had built. As a struggling farmer, I poured every ounce of my energy into keeping the farm alive. But what I didn't realize was how much I was neglecting my own heart until I met him. Keanu came into my life like a storm I couldn't predict. He wasn't just any man, he was everything I didn't know I needed. Kind, thoughtful, and unapologetically himself. He taught me to laugh again, to dream beyond the boundaries of the farm, and for the first time in years, I felt truly alive. But there was one problem. Keanu is black, and my family didn't accept it. My parents had always been set in their ways, holding on to values I couldn't support. They didn't see what I saw in him, the man who made an unbelievable gesture just to show me how much he cared. As the tension grew between my heart and my family's expectations, I found myself torn. How could I choose between the love of my life and the family I'd always been loyal to? Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Keanu revealed a secret, a twist so shocking it left me questioning everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and sacrifice. What did Keanu do? And how would it change everything? Stay tuned, because this story is only just beginning. The farm wasn't just land, it was the heart of my family. My parents bought it decades ago, working tirelessly to build a life for us from nothing. Every corner of the house held a memory. The kitchen where my mom made her famous apple pie, the barn where my dad taught me how to care for animals, and the treehouse my siblings and I built during endless summer afternoons. Losing the farm wasn't just about money. It was about losing the only piece of my parents I had left. But times had changed. Droughts and mounting debts turned the farm into a constant struggle. I worked every waking hour, trying to keep it alive, but no matter how hard I fought, it felt like I was losing ground. My siblings, who once shared in the chores and the laughter, had moved on to lives in the city, leaving me alone with the weight of our family's legacy. I was exhausted, both physically and emotionally. And then Keanu Reeves appeared. He was nothing like the glamorous celebrity I'd seen on screen. He showed up on my doorstep like any ordinary man, with a warm smile and a simple offer: to help. At first, I didn't understand why. Why would someone like him, a Hollywood icon, care about a struggling farmer like me? His unexpected gesture of kindness felt too good to be true, and as much as I wanted to trust him, I couldn't help but question his motives. He seemed fascinated by the farm, asking questions about my life and my family. But there was something he wasn't telling me, something in his eyes that hinted at a deeper reason for his arrival. And when I finally learned the truth, it would change everything. Keanu's unexpected arrival stirred something in me: hope, confusion, and maybe even fear. For someone who had spent years battling financial struggles and emotional isolation, his presence felt like a lifeline, but also a storm waiting to unravel my fragile world. He seemed genuinely curious about the farm, asking about the crops, the equipment, and the long hours I put in every day. But why would a man like Keanu Reeves, with fame and fortune at his fingertips, care about the life of a struggling farmer? As we spent more time together, I couldn't help but notice the way my family reacted to him. My older brother, who'd come back temporarily to help with the farm, was skeptical from the start. "What's his angle, Emily? No one shows up out of nowhere just to help." His words gnawed at me, planting seeds of doubt. My younger sister, on the other hand, was fascinated by Keanu's charm and generosity, but even she couldn't ignore the tension brewing between him and the rest of the family. And then there was the farm's financial situation. The bank had sent another notice, threatening foreclosure if I couldn't make a payment soon. Just when I thought I had reached my breaking point, Keanu did something that left me speechless. He offered to pay off the debt, a gesture so unbelievable it made my heart race. But his offer wasn't simple. He didn't want to just give me money. He wanted to partner with me on a project he refused to fully explain. "Trust me, Emily," he said, his voice steady but his eyes hiding something. Was this a genuine act of kindness, or was there more to his unexpected gesture? And with my family's growing doubts and the farm's fate hanging in the balance, Could I even afford to take the risk? Keanu's offer lingered in the air, heavy with implications I couldn't fully grasp. The idea of saving the farm felt like a dream, but the conditions he proposed left me uneasy. Partnering with him on a project he wouldn't explain seemed risky, and my brother wasted no time voicing his opinion. "This isn't charity, Emily. He's hiding something," he said, his voice sharp. "You can't just trust him because he's Keanu Reeves. You don't even know why he's here." I wanted to believe in Keanu, but my brother's words stirred doubts I couldn't ignore. And then, as if fate decided to push me further into chaos, another notice from the bank arrived. This time they weren't just threatening foreclosure, they were moving forward with it. We had 30 days to settle the debt, or the farm would be gone for good. Meanwhile, Keanu seemed oddly calm. He spent his days helping me on the farm, fixing equipment, feeding animals, and even sharing stories about his childhood. Stories that made him seem more human, less of a celebrity. But whenever I pressed him about his project, he dodged the question. "Just trust me, Emily. It'll all make sense soon." The tension between him and my brother reached a boiling point when my brother accused him of having ulterior motives. "Why are you really here, Keanu? What are you trying to take from my sister?" The accusation hung in the air, and for the first time, Keanu's calm demeanor cracked. "I'm here because I care," he said, his voice breaking. "But there's more to this than you know. I just need time to prove it." Before I could ask what he meant, a lawyer from the bank showed up at the farm with papers that threatened to destroy everything, and Keanu's next move left us all in shock. The air was thick with tension as the lawyer from the bank delivered the final blow. Unless I came up with the full amount owed within 30 days, the farm would be auctioned off. I could feel the weight of my family's legacy slipping through my fingers, and the pressure was suffocating. My siblings argued in the kitchen, their voices rising over the clinking of dishes. "Emily, you can't trust him!" my brother shouted, his frustration boiling over. "He's hiding something, and we can't afford to gamble with the farm." But deep down, I knew I didn't have a choice. Without Keanu's help, there was no way I could save the farm in time. Yet his refusal to fully explain his plans made me question everything. "Why won't you just tell me the truth, Keanu?" I finally asked, my voice trembling with both anger and desperation. He looked at me with an intensity I couldn't decipher. "Because the truth will only complicate things right now," he said softly. "You have to trust that I'm here for the right reasons." As the days passed, Keanu threw himself into helping me. He worked tirelessly, fixing fences, repairing equipment, and even calling in favors to get supplies at discounted rates. Despite his efforts, the looming deadline felt like a ticking time bomb. Then, just as I began to feel a glimmer of hope, an unexpected twist shattered everything. The bank called to inform me that another buyer had expressed interest in the farm, a wealthy developer who wanted to tear it all down and turn the land into a luxury resort. Suddenly, the fight to save the farm wasn't just about money, it was about preserving my family's history against forces much bigger than I could handle alone. Keanu's next words left me frozen. "I think I know who's behind this, Emily, and I need to confront them, but it's going to change everything." The climactic moment came when Keanu insisted on meeting with the developer, the man who had suddenly swooped in to buy the farm. I couldn't understand why he seemed so certain about confronting this person, but there was a determination in his eyes I couldn't ignore. "Stay here," he told me. "This is something I need to handle." Hours passed, and the tension was unbearable. My brother paced the kitchen, muttering about how we'd been foolish to trust Keanu. My sister sat quietly, tears brimming in her eyes. And me? I was caught between hope and dread, clutching the bank's foreclosure notice as though it might crumble in my hands. When Keanu returned, he was visibly shaken but resolute. "I spoke to him," he said, his voice low but steady, "and I convinced him to back off." Before I could ask how, he handed me a document, a signed agreement stating the developer had withdrawn his offer on the farm. Relief flooded over me, but I couldn't ignore the lingering questions. "How did you manage this, Keanu? What did you say to him?" He hesitated, then dropped the bombshell. "Because that developer is someone I used to know, a business partner I left behind years ago. He didn't want the land. He wanted revenge. On me." The weight of his confession left me stunned. All this time, Keanu's involvement wasn't just a kind gesture. It was deeply personal. By confronting the developer, he had exposed a painful chapter of his past, risking his own reputation to save my family's legacy. But the most shocking twist came when he pulled out a check. "This is my investment in the farm. I'm not just saving it. I want to be a part of its future." I was speechless. Keanu hadn't just saved the farm, he'd become a part of our story forever. The farm stood silent under the soft glow of the evening sky, as if it too was finally breathing a sigh of relief. With the developer out of the picture and the foreclosure halted, I felt like a weight had been lifted, a burden I had carried for far too long. But this wasn't just a story about saving the farm, it was about saving myself. Keanu's unexpected gesture wasn't just about money or fixing fences. It was about giving me the strength to believe in possibilities again. My brother, who had been the loudest critic, approached me that night. "I was wrong about him," he admitted quietly, his voice heavy with emotion. "He's not just some outsider. He really cares about you and the farm." For the first time in years, my siblings and I sat together on the porch, talking, laughing, and dreaming about the future of the farm. Keanu joined us, and for once, he wasn't the Hollywood star or the mysterious stranger. He was just Keanu, someone who had become a part of our family. As the days passed, we worked together to rebuild. Keanu's investment allowed us to upgrade the equipment, repair the barn, and even expand the crops. But more than that, his presence reminded me that love is about trust, sacrifice, and seeing the best in someone, even when the odds are against you. Looking back, I realized the farm wasn't just saved by money or hard work. It was saved by the belief that no matter how far things fall apart, they can always be rebuilt with hope and the right people by your side. As I stood by Keanu, looking over the fields, I smiled. This wasn't just a farm anymore. It was the start of a new chapter, one I couldn't wait to write.